Hello teacups, what's brewing? We are back. I need to start this this video with a small apology because I was having a lot of trouble downloading the stream. It kept getting stuck at 43%. I tried 5 or 6 times. So when it was actually going live, I did capture my own like hour and a half of the live, but it's an enormous file when I capture it. It's gigs and gigs, and I'm just like, it's so unwieldy for my computer to process instead of just like a downloaded YouTube stream. So I don't have any more than that captured, but I think I can make all the points I need to make with the footage I have. I'm aware that she's done, I think it's 3 streams since I've been at work. She's done about 6.5 hours of content, assuming she's not live right now, which could be the case, who knows at this point. I think she's doing that on purpose because this stream is maybe not got the response she's looking for, and so she's just trying to push out other content to push this video down because it hasn't been responded to very well. I'm guessing, that is a complete guess on my part, but let's get into it, and if I have time to watch the other streams, I shall. I've only seen a few clips on Twitter, so I'm going on that and not much else. All right, let's get into the video.
I'm so sorry.
So the first thing to note here is that she should not be driving. It is dark. She is crying. She frequently takes her hands off the wheel. Like, she's not an undistracted driver at this point. There's a thing when you're learning how to drive, and it's like, oh, you know, don't drive when you're tired. Don't drive when you're emotionally upset. This is there are many things here that perhaps do not lend themselves to easy control of a car. So I'm going to say it now because then I don't have to say every time she takes her hands off the wheel to talk. I don't have to keep mentioning it. But if she's upset, because I don't think a lot of what happens on this stream is legitimate emotion, if she's upset, I'd rather she wasn't crying through the night, particularly as she turns the light on and off as she goes. And when the light's on in the car in the dark, you can't see shit, and you should not be driving. So just start right there, shall we? Let's get the next lot of clips.
I just want to go home. I'm just going home. Nothing bad happened. I'm just messed up. Like, nobody hurt me or anything. I just want to talk. You know, when you're just like, sitting there and like, all of a sudden, just like, everything overwhelming just hits you. And you just can't stop crying. Like, I just dropped off Dom because I can't be around people right now. I just can't. When I'm like this, the only people I can be around are you guys because you're not really here. I feel like I'm like bottled emotions or trauma. I don't even realize I have because sometimes I just freak out like this. And yeah, I know I need therapy and everything, obviously. I think this is just more situational. Like, I've just been going through so much. I'm just really, really, really overwhelmed. Everything. I don't know what. I'm gonna be okay. I just need to like emotionally purge, I guess. I just want to be alone. I just want to bees all weekend. I just want to bees.
Okay, there are a few parts to that clip. First, when she's like, I just want to bees, I just want to bees. If we replace the word bees with what the word actually is right now, which is, I just want to do drugs. I just want to do drugs. Think about how that sounds for a moment. I just want to go home and do this a completely innocent bee thing. I need to go home and do drugs because I can't handle life. It's a much more honest view of what that actually says. And it comes back to, I wish she wouldn't use the word bees. I wish she wouldn't trivialize and juvenize what she's doing by using the word bees, because bees used to have a much more innocent connotation. And I think she uses it to avoid the harsh reality of what she's actually doing, which is, hey, I'm sobbing into the night and I can't handle my life and I want to go home and do drugs. So that's the first element. Second, and we're going to return to this, she just dropped off Dom. Here's the thing. I don't feel there's a huge amount of legitimate emotion in this stream. For all she is sobbing, and for all I would usually have a lot more sympathy for that. You have seen me get sucked into this before. Today is not that day, my friends. I'm not picking up what she's putting down here. Because the thing is, this is basically an ER visit because an ER visit wouldn't get her what she needs right now. Because there's no guarantee with the state of her relationship with her family, anybody would support and come get her or drive her or do whatever if she were to go to the ER. It's not going to get her what she needs, which is a pat on the head and unconditional, to her mind, support. Because she's not there with her family. She's used them up a little bit too much for that. From the sounds of it, we have indicators of that through her last lives. But I see this stream as pure manipulation. And here's the reason why. She has got too much to benefit from showing this online, from all streams of her life, in terms of her family, in terms of Dom, in terms of her audience. Because she wants more sympathy than she's getting. She wants attention, but right now she wants to be cosseted. And she's not getting it at all. She's had indications that she, when she was going off in her deleted live, that she's having a lot of trouble with relationships in her family. BB is being more insistent, although it seems like he hasn't directly spoken to her family yet. But her family doesn't seem to be talking to her. I think one of the clips I saw later was her saying her mum wasn't talking to her. And I realized that she's back having an argument with Shannon. She threw some shade at Shannon a bit later in this stream, I think it was. So the relationships at home are rocky. And one of the things this achieves as she cries into the night, that it's nothing to do with Dom, I wasn't hit or anything, I just need some support, is that the underlying message of that is, look at the state I'm in and you're not helping me. I need someone to talk to that's nothing to do with Dom. I get like this sometimes and I get overwhelmed and I just have to feel it. And she keeps going back to, I just want to go home and be alone. I just want to be alone. Well, congratulations, you're getting your wish because you're ruining every relationship you have. So you're going to be alone. And that's not really what she wants. She can't handle that. She turns on streams all the time and has multiple times said, it feels 4:30 is the worst, it's the loneliest time. She can't handle being alone because it means she's alone with her thoughts, and that's when the real truth starts creeping in, and she can't handle that at all. So she turns on her live streams to try and avoid it, but her audience hasn't been that sympathetic recently either. She's got a few ride or dies, but people are being a lot more vocal with their issues with her, and it's not doing what it used to do for her. So this is a good, nice attempt at drumming up some sympathy that I'm guessing hasn't worked that well because she's now trying to drown it in other things. But she benefits from the sympathy of her audience here because there's only so much they can do. They can't impact her life the way that her family do. So she says here, oh, well, you know, I can just talk to you because you're not really here. And that's the benefit. You can feed that kind of need for attention without interfering a huge amount because she's in control of our relationship. She's in control of what she does with her viewers and what she shows her viewers, although she shows us a lot, to be completely fair. But how she reacts to the viewers, she can block the viewers, she can turn them off, she can choose not to listen to them. Sorry, I forgot we had another prayer time. Apologies. But her family, she wants them to know how bad it is, but she doesn't want them to interfere unless it's in the really exact way that she needs in a particular moment, and only then. But she does know that they monitor her streams. She knows BB watches, and he's threatened to go to her family if things get bad. So he's a potential avenue for them to see. And her family, from what I understand, occasionally check in. I mean, they'd have to. They're not going to get the truth from her. So it's very useful to be a mess on stream right now, because I'm hurt, and it's nothing to do with the relationship that you have a problem with and the drugs that you have a problem with. But you're not supporting me. So the reason I feel bad is because it's your fault. And that is the message I'm getting from this. I'm not sure if call to prayer is finished for now, but man, it seems louder than usual today. We might be in a pause. Connected to nothing, but I think there's some kind of gesture I can make to my camera that occasionally turns it on. And I don't know what the gesture is. So sometimes I just hear the little click, and it means my camera is now recording because apparently there's a ghost. I thought I'd left the ghost in my house in England, but no. Sometimes I just look up and I'm on camera.
I just feel bad energy. Okay. I just want to bees. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I just need my beezers. I have to use my shirt for a Kleenex. Anyways, I'm not driving under the influence, I'm just driving sad. Maybe that's why I'm emotional. I haven't done it, like smoked or anything. I really appreciate a lot of you guys that have become my friends and just caring. And I just don't want people to think that I don't care about them. Even though I don't show it all the time. I just want a bees. I just need the bees right now. Freaking smoking bees. Yellow.
The shirt thing is disgusting. You know what's more disgusting? Even than her doing it, which was pretty gross, when she gets home, she stays in that t-shirt. She doesn't take it off. She doesn't throw it into the wash. She doesn't even sit in a lingerie. She stays in the snotty t-shirt, and it's disgusting, and I need to say it. Okay? Paramount. First thing. Okay, this is a little bit more of the same, but it's more directed towards the traditional YouTube audience now. It's, I care about you guys even if I don't show it all the time. You saw my last video. She definitely does not show it all the time. She doesn't even show it the majority of the time. She can't stand people most of the time. But she's burning bridges, and she's burning them fast. So suddenly, oh, I need you to know that I care. I care. And side note, family, I care even if I don't show it all the time. You see how I care for people? And don't go anywhere, Beezers. Don't go anywhere, because if we go, oh, what's she got left? She needs us. She needs the audience. She needs the source of attention that she's in control of. But like she said at the beginning of the stream, you guys aren't really here, but that's the basis of the appeal. It's the fact that, hey, you can't sit here and say, well, no, we're not doing this. And theoretically we can. Theoretically we can say, well, I'm quitting my membership. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. But it doesn't have the same impact as a known, present loved one saying, I can't talk to you right now. I need to take a step back to you right now. It's not the same as a friend, however rocky the relationship has been, a friend having an argument and being like, nope, the betrayal of these people, of these family, of these friends, of these concerned loved ones. It's much more real than anything online. It seems like somewhere behind the scenes, someone's done something crazy, like asked her to consider the feelings of others and the emotional burden she places on people when she tells them about active addiction and then refuses to do anything about it and basically tells them to fuck off when they try and help, or they show concern. It seems like something has happened behind there. Yeah? And so all of this is feeding into that, all of it. This whole thing of, I don't want attention, you guys, though, I'm not here for sympathy, is utterly ridiculous. The only reason she turned that light on was so you could physically see the tears. The only reason she turned it off was not safety of driving. I know I said I wouldn't mention it, I couldn't resist. It wasn't the safety of driving. It was because she realized she maybe couldn't squeeze any more out and had to rely more on noise. It's whatever's most effective. She checks the camera a few times as she's going, trying to see the response. She can't read it very easily. But there's always an awareness of the camera. And if she really didn't want to be online, she wouldn't have turned the live on. She did it for hours. She did it with purpose.
I don't know if emotionally, mentally, and everything I can handle relationship right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be home soon, guys. The drive is just less lonely and daunting if I'm just like, I know people are listening to me and I'm talking to people. To you guys are not just people. A lot of you are my VIPs. I don't know. Like, I just, before dropping him off, I was just so mean and crabby and rude, and I don't know why. Maybe hidden resentment, I don't know, is even there. I think that's what it is. I don't know. Is it a full moon? It's a full moon. People with mental health problems, doesn't that affect it? It's probably me right now. I'm so grouchy. I feel so stupid. There's a lot I can't talk about right now. I think that's contributing to my stress in a big way. I think you guys know what the problem is. Get it? Alright.
We do know what the problem is. The problem is Dom. The problem is always Dom. It has always been Dom in recent history. She has a lot of her own problems, but a lot of them right now stem from that guy. So that's what I think has started this. For all she's saying, okay, he didn't hit me or anything like that, there's been no physical abuse in this case. I do think there has been some kind of argument, some kind of exchange with Dom. I'm not saying it was physical, but I think that's what's triggered this. I think she's got a lot of elements in her life right now that could be causing an emotional response, but I think there's been some kind of argument. She was with him, she dropped him off. So they've decided, they've been out together, they've decided not to stay together. She says it's because she decided because she can't be around people like this, but she feels stupid. She was so bitchy and crabby and mean and guys, and then she looks at the camera like, oh, I'm so grumpy right now. So she acknowledges that she's been a bitch at some point. I assume, because I know her personality, that she has gone off at some point or, clapped back at him at some point. And his response has been to pull the night then. We're not spending time together. And now she's like this. She's like, oh, I'm bitchy and crabby. It's a full moon because it's always something else. It's never her. It's always an external thing, never an internal one, never her choice, never her consequence. Something's happened to her. But this reads a lot like I was going to say an apology, but an explanation. Yeah, that's a better word. An explanation to Dom. To say, I was like this, but I'm so sad now. You should contact me. That's what I'm reading in this. I think that's what's happened. I don't know exactly what they've argued about. I do know it's the 21st, so they're going to make up at some point because YouTube sends payments on the 21st and it takes a few days to log. 21st was a Saturday this time around, so she's not getting paid until at least Monday when the bank's open. So, Mama's got some cash coming in, and so that's a very good reason to kiss and make up. for the moment anyway. Now, in a later live stream, I've seen a clip where she does say still she's not ready for relationships. We'll see how long that lasts. Like I said, the 6.5 hours I haven't watched yet. But right now, her and Dom seem to be on the outs. We'll probably find out why. But when she says I can't talk about it, it's always him. It's always him. So whatever else is going on, that has been the genesis of this live stream. Because for all she says, okay, guys, no, I just get like this sometimes, which she's got absolutely no tools in her emotional toolkit. I can believe sometimes this is all she's got. When she goes like, don't you ever get like that? I actually genuinely don't. I have been depressed. I've been to the point where I couldn't get out of bed and my sister took me to the doctor and was like, you need to get on some antidepressants. But this just out of nowhere drop out of life into tears and not being able to speak. No, I've not done that any time I can remember. I've not been just living my life and then completely overwhelmed by everything. Now there are panic disorders out there. There are anxiety disorders out there. She likes to treat her anxiety with fucking cannabis, so I can bet she occasionally misjudges that one. And she's driving, so God willing she's not had anything. She claims she hasn't. But right now she's at the point where anytime she's sober, she can't handle her life, her thoughts, her emotions, her anything. So I can believe things got overwhelming super quick because basically she had to feel a feeling and now she can't handle anything. I can believe that's true. However, pre-Dom, pre this particular arc, we'd seen her rage in her car, but we'd never seen her just start sobbing out of nowhere. I can't recall a time, I might be wrong, I can't recall a time when her behaviour pattern followed this particular pattern, which means it's Dom or it's drugs. This isn't something, however she has her natural cycles, we've definitely seen those, and I can definitely believe she's had a lot of depression in the past, because her life's a mess. Of course she's also depressed. But this behaviour, we haven't seen evidence of, and we see a damn lot of her life on this channel.
Never lost anyone. I've never lost anyone yet. Touch wood, but I don't want to. And that's life, right? Shut up, Queenish. Go fuck yourself. No one needs to hear it right now. And I couldn't get my vaccine a long time ago in Canada. I didn't spend as much time with Graham when she was in the nursing home. I got my first vaccine and I had to wait like a few weeks or whatever, so I have to get my second one, but I don't even think if she's in the hospital I can go.
I still need to get my first.
I know. People are still getting COVID anyways, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's less severe.
Just choose to be different tomorrow. Can't even call my grandma. she's not well enough, I don't think, to even talk. But I gotta arrange to go. I don't know if I can go see her in the hospital. I don't think I can. I don't know. I'm gonna get my second. We're gonna get our second vaccines next week anyways. But no, my grandmother is ill. She has pneumonia, and that's very worrisome because she's 81. Has had pulmonary hypertension since she's 40. Her heart's failing. I can't remember. I'm eligible now to get it, right?
Okay. The talk about grandma is potentially the only thing in this stream that I could possibly give her some sympathy for, with caveats. I think it's awful her grandma's ill. I think that over the course of Chantal's life, she has made certain choices, and grandma at certain times has stepped into the mother role. So if there's any member of her family that she has been close to at times, it has been grandma. And when she was more active and the world was a bit more normal, she did used to like get groceries for her grandma. She'd mentioned seeing her grandma more. They have some kind of relationship there. When she initially went to all her family and were like, I'm an addict, she was really worried. Like, grandma, I think, was already ill and she didn't want to have that conversation. I believe I said at the time, if she's sick and there's nothing she can do, I wouldn't burden her with this. So I don't know how aware grandma is right now of the situation Chantal is in and what she's been doing. I don't know if that conversation is one that's been had. So there's a lot going on there. But she has a relationship. I believe she cares for her grandmother. I believe that is real. That is perhaps the only real part of this stream. However, just because something's real doesn't mean it can't also be useful. Because what kind of dick stands there and says, well, you can't be upset about your grandma? Of course you can be upset about your grandma. Plus, added to that, with the pandemic, with COVID, it's a really real thing to feel guilty when something terrible happens and you haven't been able to speak to them that much and you haven't been able to go see them. And then suddenly you've got this feeling of, I might not have another chance. Like, that is a real thing. That is a real thing people go for. And if the worst happens and her grandma passes, which hopefully she will not, hopefully she will recover and it will be okay, Chantal is going to have an enormous amount of guilt over that. And God knows what she's going to do because she's already spiraling. Yeah? I feel like, however genuine that emotion might be among all the other things we see here, it's being brought up because it's useful. And I kind of hate that I'm saying that because this is as legitimate as anything in this stream got. It's a terrible thing that she feels bad about that she can also throw in the faces of others. And that's just kind of where I am with it. Because think of some of the information we get. She didn't go and see her, which may not have been her fault. Yeah, she could be in contact via phone, via Skype, via Zoom. Like, there are ways to be in contact that I'm guessing she hasn't taken from the sound of it. She didn't speak to her too much when she was in whatever housing situation she was in. I don't know if it was a retirement home or if it was just supported housing. I'm not sure. But there hasn't been as much communication. Maybe like just COVID and there was nothing that could be done. Maybe more could have been done and it wasn't. For whatever reason, there is guilt there. Yeah, and that's completely fair. There would be guilt there. So right now though, she's had an opportunity to have a second vaccine. She just told someone to fuck off because she couldn't get it for weeks. I've got a friend who lives kind of local-ish to that area and she got her second vaccine a while ago. And yes, there's different categories, there's different things, but Chantal is high risk. She had her first vaccine a while ago, so there is a timer on that afterwards. And yes, they were going to book her in October, but vaccines are available and she's chosen to not get it. And when she was looking in her purse, she was like, am I even eligible? So she hasn't even checked. She hasn't even looked into getting her second one. So for all it is a terrible thing, and for all having the second vaccine might not even allow her to visit her grandma if her grandma's in hospital. I'm not sure what the rules are for visitation right now. I think it depends on how bad her grandmother's state is. Like if it's end of life, I think they make more allowances for people to see her. But people right now are not talking to Chantal, so she can't coordinate that with her family because her family have got very real worries that they're dealing with. And then they've got her and her attitude on the other side. And clearly they've drawn a line here and been like, you know what, our focus has to be here. So she's not getting emotional support from her family because they got to protect themselves and they've got to put their emotional energies into somewhere else. So I'm assuming she can't really coordinate with them. But she hasn't done her own checks. And it's not until now when she wants that sympathy. She's like, oh yeah, I need to go get my second vaccine. And she's actually looked at the card. She has been mentioning the second vaccine. She still hasn't taken Pete to do his first. But apparently there's a clinic within walking distance. So kind of partial credit for that because Pete could sort himself out there. But she's been saying to him, yes, we'll go, and then letting him down. She hasn't taken any steps to even do what small amount she might be able to do to try and improve the situation with grandma. And like I say, I give her a little bit of credit there to say, okay, it's a real thing and I don't know how much she could do, but she doesn't know either. And if I had an elderly relative, if I felt that strongly and I needed to find things out to make sure that I could go see her, I wouldn't be spending weekends with Dom and then sleeping and eating through the rest of my life. I'd be going and checking that information. So all the really important stuff that she has to do that she's been putting off, apparently her grandma's been one of those. So it's kind of why I'm having quite a mixed response to this, because yes, it's a valid thing, but also there's lots of things you could have looked into even that you haven't. Yeah? That's the last of the clips that I have clipped for you. Let me just double check that's true and I'm not telling you a lie. Yes, it is. There was a bit more in this stream. She makes a joke about Pete's being a ball and chain, so obviously that's a conversation they've had at some point. He says that he had snapped at her earlier in the day. He's still there supporting her. She comes crying on live. He says, you know, you call me in tears, I get concerned. So he's there. He's on live stream. He's supporting her. He's telling live stream she might not want to talk about it. Let her feel her feelings. He's protecting her in the way that he can. And apparently, like, that's that. Because Pete is the friend she can trust. Pete is the friend who will always be there no matter what she says about him, no matter what she does, that she can trust to not interfere too much, but give her that source of attention whenever she demands it. There was a bit more. There was a little bit of talk about Shannon and just there being an argument. And there are the other lives that came after that reveal little bits and pieces. I'll go into watch those whenever I can. I don't know if I'm going to have time. We're at school. I don't know if we're going to have time. I know I keep saying that, but it's so much. It's so much, you guys. And it's purposefully so much because then once 3 things come after, it sort of forces a certain amount of forgetting with the previous things because the timeline just gets too full. I think that's a deliberate move on her part so she can just keep things moving forward when they don't work out. I don't think she got what she wanted from this stream, whatever it was. I don't think she got a reconciliation with her family and checking in going, are you okay, sweetheart? No, okay, let's talk. Even though I didn't want to, let's have a heart to heart so she could weep for them. Her audience isn't getting more supportive, really. They're still, like me, they're getting very exhausted with this. These are the extremes she can go to, but it's not getting her as much play as it used to. And she's heading for, I think, a serious event. She's still using, I was watching Smokey, Steve and Mark. Steve brings Mark in sometimes just to give his professional opinion. Neither of them are people that will deliberately escalate situations for the drama. They tend to give their honest opinion based on either lived experience or professional response. And Mark is of the opinion that she's doing meth. I know nothing about drugs, but I do think they are both very knowledgeable in their fields, and I would be willing to put my faith and believe his opinion. So, still doing drugs, still in a horrible situation with Dom, chosen or not, still working really hard to manipulate everybody, her family, her audience, her relationship, if we can call it that. And when this didn't work, because I don't think it worked, it was interesting to see that her next stream she was talking about getting healthy again, because by hook or by crook, she wants the family back. So if doing what she's doing hasn't worked, then the picture of an attempt to get better might. But we've played this game with her before, and her family now have played this game with her before. We see this all the time as an audience, but she's been isolated from her family for a while, and she purposely hides what's going on in her life from her family. She said she does. So this might be the first time in a little bit they've actually lived through one of her cycles at speed. And I think they're getting wise to it pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens, but I don't think it's going to get her where she wants to be, wherever that is. All right, everybody, I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to edit this together and get it up. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.